Hi, I'd like to welcome my guest, Bronwyn. Bronwyn is a creative hat maker and a curator at the Hat Museum. I have a series of questions I'd like to ask you, Bronwyn. First, we will start with an icebreaker. Please, can you tell me a funny joke?
Well, I don't know if this will be funny, but the past, the present, and the future walk into a bar. It was tense.
Question 1. Tell me a little bit about yourself and when did you decide to become a hat maker?
I think I was about 16 or 17 when I knew that I definitely wanted to do something creative, but I didn't really know what that might be. And I felt very strongly that I wanted to make a conscious decision about what I would do and what I would study at school or at uni. I didn't want to do what was expected of me. So I decided to study creative subjects at college. And the kind of job that I do now allows me to get involved in lots of creative projects. And I really, really enjoy the variety of what I do. And part of that, that's where the hat making really comes in, because in 2015 I started working at the Hat Museum, and the collection really inspired me, and I really wanted to understand more about the collection that I was helping look after. I kind of felt like, how can I be displaying hats if I don't know how they're made? So that's what prompted me to learn how to make my own hats.
That's really good, thank you. Question 2. Is there anyone who influenced you to become a hat maker?
There's so many people who've influenced me, tutors, colleagues, my family, my studio mates here in Stockport. I think my mum always encouraged us to do creative things, and we never got into trouble for making a mess at home if we were doing something arty. And she's very good at making things, and her mum was also very good at making things, my granny. And she used to knit these fabulous jumpers that had these fantastic animals on the front, and she loved to make things for all her grandchildren. Growing up in Ireland, it's a very cold country, and we were always very well wrapped up and protected against the cold. And I like to think that I'm continuing that family tradition of making things so that people can feel cozy.
That's really nice. Is there a favourite piece that means a lot to you?
This is a really hard question, and if you asked me the same question tomorrow, I would probably give you a completely different answer. But I have a hat that it's taken me nearly 2 years to finish. And I started it, and then for some reason I put it up on the shelf, part made, and every time I would come back into the studio, I might take it down and play with it and experiment with it and try it one way, try it another way. But I found it very difficult to actually decide how it should be. So a while ago, I just thought, right, I'm going to finish that hat. I think the problem was that I had become too precious about it. And I suddenly thought, well, why am I, I think I was overthinking it. And I thought, just finish it. It's no problem. I think it was because I'd invested so much time in it so far and I didn't want to ruin it. But then I thought, hey, it doesn't matter. I can just make another one or make a different one or remake it, or, it's just a hat at the end of the day. So I finished it, and it's a really interesting shape. It comes around the back of the head and up the front and comes into like these curly horns. And it's covered.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's quite dramatic. And it's covered in a mustard coloured fish leather on the outside and lined with grey silk on the inside. And when I wear it, my shoulders go back and I stand really tall and I feel very powerful in that hat. So I guess that's why that one's special.
And it's like in London in the old days, they had the bowler hats as well.
Yeah,
So could you tell us a bit about the bowler hats?
bowler hats are interesting because from what I've read about the history of the bowler hat, they were originally designed to protect people's heads when they were hunting. And so they were like a hardened hat, so that if you fell off your horse or if something fell on you from above, your head would be protected. But I find the bowler hat an interesting hat because it's got lots of different associations. So it's associated with bankers in London, for example, or women in Bolivia, I think it is, who wear this with very beautiful, brightly coloured clothing. And also Orange men in Northern Ireland. It's synonymous with their garb as well.
Thank you. Question 4. Is there anyone that you've worked with that you've enjoyed?
And this was a hard question because I've worked with loads of people and really enjoyed the work on different projects. I get different things out of different projects, but a couple of years ago, I worked with a textile technologist called Jane Wood, and her research was around sustainable fabrics, and she was growing fabric in a great big vat of tea. And so this fabric kind of was a film that formed on top of the vat, and then she would peel it off, dry it, and then it looked a little bit like a leather, like a vegetable leather. So she grew lots of this fabric and she gave me lots of it to experiment with. And I had a go at using hat making techniques to see what I could do with this vegetable leather. And I made some kind of crazy type hat things that were really interesting. And then we got together and we put together some workshops for the public at Hatworks. So members of the public came and they had to go and experimented with this weird fabric as well.
That's great.
It was really exciting, and it was really great to see what other people produced. And people were so curious as well, about how we could think differently about thinking about where the fabric for our clothing comes from and what's involved in its production. It raised lots of really interesting discussions.
Thank you. Question 5. Do you have anything or projects that you are working on?
Yeah, I've got a few interesting ones on the go. So one at the moment is I'm working with an illustrator called Maisie Summer, and she's got a studio here in Stockport, and she's going to create an animated short film about a Stockport woman called Elsie Plant. And Elsie was a campaigner and for women's reproductive rights. And she was responsible for helping to open Stockport's first family planning association. And so I find her an inspirational woman, and I find the story an inspirational story. And I think it's a really exciting story that we're going to be telling. And there is a connection to hats as well, because Elsie helped run the family business, which was involved in making hat blocks. And these are the wooden hat forms that are used to shape hats. And that they're the wooden forms that help the milliner or the hat maker create the shape of the hat.
And I must say that your hats has connected you to so many different amazing people, which is really good.
It has opened up lots of doors and given me opportunities to meet people and talk to people, and opportunities I would never have had before. So it really has. When I say that hat making and hats have changed my life, I really do mean it.
That's lovely. Thank you. Where would you like to be in 5 years?
Well, lots of people have a 5-year plan. I remember being told at a very young age that was important, but I don't know. I don't have a plan really. So as long as I'm doing work that excites me and that makes a little bit of a difference in 5 years, I'll be happy.
That's great. Thank you. Question 7. Do you have any hobbies or interest?
Well, I have just bought an aquarium, so I'm going to start. I've planted it up with these lovely aquatic plants, and I'm going to. It's all ready now for my fish, which I'm hoping to get next weekend. And I think that I really wanted. The idea really appeals to me of creating a very small little world that I can control, particularly at the moment whenever everything is so out of my control everywhere. I think that that will be really that really appeals to me, that idea, and I can't wait to get my fish in there, and I think that I'll find that really relaxing watching the fish.
It is really relaxing, the aquarium. I think it's a lovely place to like just find yourself at peace. Like it's like you're in a different world. It's watching them all move and big fishes, little fishes. It's just amazing
Yeah,
and
I can't wait.
colourful.
Yeah, and creating that really lovely colourful environment, I think it'll do my mental health the world of good.
Question 8. Is there anything that you've always wanted to do, you've never had the chance to?
Yeah, I've always wanted to go swimming in the hot springs in Iceland. You know, the volcanic. I've forgotten the word, but yeah, you know, the kind of the water pools that are heated by the volcanoes in Iceland. That's what I'd love to do, and I've never had the chance.
That's really amazing because like I've always wanted to go to Iceland as well, and so many people recently have talked to me about Iceland. It must be like one of the most beautifulest places you can ever go to. I've heard as well that the food is really nice, the people, and one of my favorite artists is from Iceland as well, and that's Bjork. So it's really amazing. It's a great place to go to, and I hope you do get a chance to go there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, maybe one day.
Question 9. Do you have a favourite country you'd like to visit or that you have been to?
Well, I visited Denmark, keeping on a Scandinavian kind of theme. I went to Denmark a couple of years ago and I really enjoyed it. And I would love to go back and explore more of Scandinavia. And I'm really interested in how people cope with the extreme difference between winter and summer, you know, with the so many hours of continual darkness in winter, but then so many hours of light in the summer. So yeah, I'd like to go back and do more.
So could you tell us a bit like about what were the people like out there, and did you enjoy the food, or was there anything that you really liked?
Yeah, I liked the galleries that we went to. I really enjoyed going to the design museum, and yeah, the people were so friendly and so polite and welcoming, and I just enjoyed the whole thing so much. Yeah, it was great. Can't wait to
That's
go back.
good. That's good. Thank you. Question 10. Do you have any favourite foods?
Well, the list is quite long for favorite foods because I love my food. Um, but I think at the moment, I really like big salads where you can put lots of different things in. So toasted nuts and goat cheese and pomegranate seeds. And I even put like vegetables in there sometimes. So I'll put anything in a salad, and with a really nice dressing and some crusty bread. I think that that's just a lovely, lovely tea.
What about dessert?
Dessert. Pretty much any dessert is fine with me. Um, I love a sticky toffee pudding is good,
Ooh.
but it's quite wintry, isn't it? So maybe for summer it would be more like pavlova. That's a favorite, pavlova, but I think it's nearly getting to be too sweet for me. There's too much sugar in it. But oh yeah, pavlova used to be my favorite dessert.
So can I come for tea?
As soon as the pandemic's over, you can. No problem.
You can throw it over the fence to me anyway.
I'll do a home delivery.
Yeah. Bronwyn, is there anything you'd like to talk about or share with us that you've not had the opportunity to share?
Yes, there is. And I think I've never really talked about this publicly, but I wanted to mention integrated education in Northern Ireland. because I think it's really important. And people are people here are often very surprised whenever I tell them that children and young people in Northern Ireland are educated separately, along the lines on the basis of their religion. Um, and around 7% of children and young people, it's only 7% who go to an integrated school where the religious mix is more balanced. And I think it's really wrong to segregate people on the grounds of religion, gender, race, or ability. So it's something that I feel quite strongly about. And I think the world would be a much better place if children were educated within a culture of mutual respect.
That's really powerful. Thank you. And finally, to end this great interview, could you share some inspirational thoughts or words with us?
Well, I think it's really important that if you find something that you love doing, never ever give it up, no matter what anybody else says. Passions are really, really precious, and it's important that they're nurtured.
That's really good. Thank you, Bronwyn, for being a part of the interviews with Ash, and I hope you can come back in the future.
Thanks very much, Ash. It's been really wonderful being interviewed by you, and I think your questions have really helped me think about things that I haven't thought about for a long time. So thank you, and thank you for asking me.
And thank you, Bronwyn. You've been such an inspiration, and you've told me about a lot of things today that's really made my mind just think about even about Ireland and about all this kind of like segregation. And it's good that hopefully one day we can all make a change and make it a better place for everyone to live, where everyone can be
Absolutely.
equal, no matter what color of skin you are, your religion, just so everyone can just be a part of the world and feel accepted.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Bye.